No, you can't come Wednesday, or Thursday, right?
Oh, okay.
We're
Maybe she
live.
realized your thing too.
Cause
that's a
will that be
fun
saved
session.
out there then? I mean, if you don't get
I don't know
to
what,
see it
I
lifetime?
don't know what Sarah's doing.
She's saving it onto the CSLGD site.
That'd be fun.
She might put it on.
Yeah, cause you can always go back and look at
Yeah,
those.
that's a good thing.
We'll ask her that.
But, yeah, next week's gonna be a lot of.
Next week, can you come next week?
I can come.
Right, cool.
I mean, this next one Thursday. But we'll still be saying the same things on the next two.
How are ya?
Hello, Dom.
It's
Just
not
Bill's
Christmas.
It builds.
Hey there.
What's that say?
My blood donor shirt, so it's Christmas.
Probably should have waited to go.
I thought it'd be, is that the Christmas
Actually, I
squirrel?
thought your friends.
Is that the Christmas squirrel? Is that the Christmas squirrel?
Given that today is supposed to have gotten up to 84, that's a good one. Little coolness.
Yeah.
I'm a free thinker.
There you go. You're ahead of your time, Dale.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, well, I'd like to welcome everyone to Meditation for Everyone. And the reason I chose that name or title is because over the course of 3 classes, almost everybody can learn to meditate. As long as you're conscious and have any ability to sit at all, comfortably. So my name is Pat Ambrosic, and I have been meditating for 68 years. I started in college, and it's the best thing I ever did. And that's why I love sharing it. And I'm a retired learning disabilities teacher and supervisor. And my husband and I, Joe,
Hi, everybody.
he's been meditating for almost as long. And we've been married 44 years and have a son. And he loves meditation also. That's why we do all these classes. And so one of the things that you're going to be learning in this class, the agenda, so to speak, is today you're going to learn about what is meditation. There's a lot of misunderstandings about meditation. I'm going to share one particular meditation approach, and on the different classes, I'll be sharing other meditations as well. But I'll talk about how if you learn one meditation technique and really practice it, you can do a lot of other meditation techniques and really understand how to do them and do them better. So we're going to do today the benefits, because there are a lot of benefits. What is meditation? You're going to practice some meditation. You're going to learn about how to start sitting and what is meditation. What's it about? How do you do it? And then we're also going to take questions, but we're going to try to practice twice if we can. A little bit of meditation 2 times. And between now and the next Thursday, this coming Thursday, you're going to be able to start, I'm going to share with you all different ways you can relax. How can you prepare for meditation? A lot of times people learn meditation or a technique and then they just plop down and start doing it. And it doesn't work as well. So I'm going to be sharing how do you calm physically more to get ready to go into meditation. You will learn how to set up. You will create for yourself, rather, a whole process so that at home you can set up a meditation technique and enjoy it. It's not something you have to do. It has to be something you want to do. And finding the want is a big part of this class. Why would you want to do meditation? Has anyone here tried meditation before? How did it go? Yeah. Have you ever heard, they always say, well, you've got to stop, you've got to still your mind. That's what meditation is. It's not really. Very few people get to the point where their mind ever completely stops. You're not consciously complete at that point. What they're talking about is that when you are living your life and thinking, most of the time you're at what's called a beta wave. There's brain waves. And those brain waves are connected to your nervous system. And is connected to cortisol and stress reactions. So when you're in beta state, you're thinking, you're planning, and it's a good state to be in for a lot of the time because you need to plan or do things, right? But it's kind of more like this. And your nervous system is a little more hyped up because of that. Now, in meditation, you're slowly starting to shift brainwave states. And that's how I'm going to teach you how that works. Because when you start to go into alpha, the next, it's a little slower brainwaves. You're a little calmer. Okay? Not as many thoughts come up. Because you know what? Thoughts are generated all the time. If you think your thoughts are going to stop, no, they're going to slow down in time as you sit with meditation. They won't be as frequent as they were. But they found through research that with meditation you can go down to delta state, theta state, very calm brain waves. And that's where the lower, slower brainwave states reduce your stress. And we always hear about how stress is the number one thing for illnesses. Okay? And there's reasons why. Because when your nervous system is hyped up, they found you don't heal as well. So one of the things we're going to understand is you're sitting in meditation. As you're sitting in meditation, it's very interesting. We're going to talk about what really meditation is. But before we even do that, I'd like you to just close your eyes, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and just observe your body and your thoughts. Just kind of be present to them as if you're watching your body and your thoughts. Don't try to change them. Just observe them. Okay, let's just stop now for a minute. What did you notice about your body when you were just observing it now? Notice anything? You're nodding your head. Did you notice something? You're starting to relax. Okay. But you weren't relaxed when you first closed your eyes, were you? No, because you were in more beta state. Anybody else notice anything with their thoughts? What kind of thoughts came up? Any of you thirsty? Thirsty? That was your body. What about any thoughts come up about the future? Like what I'm going to do when I leave here? What's going to happen next? Anything from the past? A lot of times we listen to our thoughts. When we listen to our thoughts, oh, I'm a future thinker. I'm a to-do thinker. Has anybody ever sat down and relaxed or went to bed at night and all this stuff came up that you have to do? That's very common, the to-do list. Okay? And a lot of times, when we do lay down to go to sleep, for example, people have problems going to sleep. It takes a while. We're going to talk about how meditation and how understanding how your body can relax in other ways start using it, these different strategies, hopefully you'll end up with what I call your toolkit, your toolbox of different things you can pull out that you now know about your body and your nervous system that can help you. And you can choose when to use those things. So now, meditation is very interesting. Let me go to the, see if this is the benefits. Okay, so meditation is being present. Present. That means here now to your body. A lot of times we don't even consider our bodies. We don't feel our bodies. We're up here all the time. Okay? The outer environment. You're going to find out about being present to the outer environment. Because when you first sit in meditation, you'll hear everything going on. Mind. Being present to your mind. What is it doing? You have to separate a bit from yourself from your mind. You have to learn to observe your mind, because what do? A thought comes up and we're gone. We follow it no matter what, right? Something happened and we were upset about something yesterday, and all of a sudden it pops up and we go back there. Oh, I've got this huge to-do list, or something's coming up, I'm going to worry about it. So we go there. Meditation is about choosing. Choosing what you think, what you do. Having choices. It's become what I call empowered. Empowering yourself through meditation. That's very important, because we're really often victims of our mind. We're not in charge a lot of times. Internal environment. We don't really know what it's like to be on a different level of awareness. In meditation, there's different meditation approaches, and the one that I'm going to kind of focus on a little more, I found is the deepest and the most powerful for me and a lot of other people that I know. Doesn't mean you don't use other techniques too, and I'll talk about that. But once you start to be present to who you are in another level, you go into the deeper brainwave states. And what's that like? It's really cool. So, non-judgmental. How much do we always judge everything? Ourselves? Other people? Oh my gosh, that idiot driver over there. And I'm standing in line forever. Oh my gosh, I chose the wrong line again. We're always judging in that way. And how does it feel to judge? Because we have to be present to the emotional states. How does it feel when you're judging yourself? Do you feel, wow, this is wonderful? Nope. So in meditation technique, one of the things you start to learn is to choose thoughts, because thoughts lead to your emotions and feelings, and it affects your body. Have you ever found yourself tensing up? Last week when I did the sound, I went around with my bowl, and this one person went, oh, took a deep breath. Because the diaphragm gets tight when we're tensed. When you start to relax, you feel a deep relaxation of breath as well. And again, the body is reacting to our thoughts and our emotions. So you start to be more present to that. And choosing, oh my gosh, I feel my shoulders tightening up. I've got to be aware of what's happening. What's going on in my head and around me? Because you're starting to be aware of your body. It's talking to you all the time. Now there's a lot we could go through the history of meditation. We're not going to do that right now because there's so much history. But let's look at the benefits of meditation as well. Okay, because I think you need to have a reason why you want to meditate. Now this one, we're going to play with this. This right here, this is some brain changes that they showed before meditation, after meditation. Interesting difference, isn't there? They've done a lot of research for like 30 years now on what meditation does to your body and your mind. This is a much calmer state. So they've done a lot of research with this. It's really kind of cool. The effects of meditation on the brain. Oops, now it's working, as you know. Right here, the effects of meditation on the brain. There's all these different parts of the brain. You can't really read this, but there's cognition, thinking, there's mood, how you feel, how the brain functions. Gyrification is the cortical folding. See all these folds in your brain? You want folds in your brain. Okay, you want to increase that. That decreases sometimes with age if we're not taking care of ourselves that way. So meditation increases the gyrification. Focusing. Have you ever noticed that as you've gotten older, it's harder to focus on something? Meditation, a major benefit of the meditation technique is improving focusing. That's why it changes a lot of brain functioning. Okay, stress reduction, big thing. I was talking about brain waves. So you go from the beta to the alpha to the theta to the delta. And you get way down here, you're in sleep. Okay, when you go into deep sleep, your brain waves are very different, very slow. Okay? Okay, now, I can hand out stuff for this one. Okay, that was for another class. Okay, let's talk about meditation. Think of a pop bottle. You have a pop bottle and there's lots of bubbles. I mean, if you shake it up, it gets all these bubbles, right? What happens when you take the lid off? All the bubbles come out. And what's left? The pop gets calm, doesn't it? The soda pop gets calm. We're basically, through our thoughts all day, creating bubbles of tension. When you sit in meditation, any sort, long enough, I would say 20 to 30 minutes is ideal to really start changes. It's like that pop bottle. You're slowly letting the bubbles of thoughts come up and let them go. So when you're meditating and you go, oh, my mind just won't settle down, meditation is letting those thoughts be there, because they're going to be there whether you like it or not. They're going to pop up like those bubbles. And you're going to let them go. Oh, there they are. Yeah, I'm going to come back and focus on my attention. Meditation is focusing on something. Walking meditation, for example, focuses on movement of the walking, focusing. Breath meditation focuses on all of your attention on the breath. Okay? There's mantra meditation where you focus on a word, and all your attention is on saying the word. There's another one, the third eye meditation, which you're focusing on the third eye. Again, you're focusing, okay? And while you're focusing, thoughts are coming up. So what do? You go like, oh darn? No. When you sit in meditation, it's totally non-judgmental. The process is the process, and the process of meditation is as you're focusing and thoughts come up, you practice letting them go and coming back. You practice letting them go and coming back. Oh, there's a thought. I'm not going to be upset because thoughts are going to come up. And that's why sitting a little longer, less thoughts start to pop up, just like with the pop bottle. The longer it sits, the fewer the bubbles start to come up. So you don't go, oh darn, it's not working. Every time you sit in meditation, it's working. You don't understand that the practice of that is what's working for you. Over time, you will, a thought comes up during the day that you know is a thought you really want. It's a worry thought or anxiety thought or anything like that. And you go like, no, I don't think I want to go there now. I can choose and they do the machines, and they do the reps. The first time you go to the gym, do you get muscles? Oh. You slowly, over time, as you do the repetition on a regular basis, that's how the muscles develop. When you're sitting in meditation, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, you're sitting there practicing letting the thoughts go and bringing it back where you want it to be. And that simple repetition and understanding that the thoughts aren't going to go away. You're okay. You have to remember, you got to let the bubbles of thoughts go away for a little while. But I'm going to show you next week, particularly, we'll talk a little bit today about it, and experience some of it. How do you get the body starting and the mind starting to calm before you sit in meditation? It's very interesting. People forget or don't know that first process enough. That's why you're going to plan out your meditation program. Just like if you want to do exercise. You have to plan out how you're going to do it. Maybe you're going to work out a little bit of exercise before you go. Golfing. They say, okay, now, loosen up your muscles and everything before you start to golf. That's preparation for golfing. Meditation is the same, and you're going to like it. You're going to develop things that you really enjoy to lead up to meditation. How many of you like music? Beautiful, calming music. It's really nice. How many of you like some movement? Yeah, we're going to talk about how certain movements are simple to do, and they're also researched to calm down the nervous system. And I do this with a lot of groups. Like I have a regular group out west. And I find that certain pre-meditation things are better for different people. So you're going to find what you like. Okay, that's why it's fun. So you're going to learn a lot about that over the next couple of weeks. So at the end of, not weeks, but classes. So at the end of the third class, you will have your practice set up. But you have to understand, you've got to want to meditate. So let's look at some other benefits, okay? Now we're going to talk about a simple technique to get started with. This is a technique that Jill and I have practiced for all these many years, along with some other things. Like I have my own preparation to go into meditation. But this is a simple one that's what we call third eye. And it's one where choose a calming word. Still, peace, love, calm, whatever. Choose a word that you like that's calming to you. Because when you think that word, your brain goes, oh, I think we're calming. Oh, I think we're going still. It'll start to train to that. So you'll use that same word on a regular basis. If you ever have a little puppy dog and you want to train it, sit, sit, sit. You're not doing all kind of different words. Little child. No. No. Or yes. Okay. You program your mind a little. So one of the things you choose is a calming word. So I'd like you to all stop and just choose a word that you think is calming to you. And what you're going to do, once you have your word, there's two parts to this. Because remember, I talked about focusing, putting your attention onto something and staying with it. That's what slowly improves that part of the brain that learns to focus better. So you're benefiting from the techniques of meditation by learning to focus. That changes the brain in a positive way. Again, it's not going to happen overnight. But you can do a simple technique like this as I share it anytime during the day. Let's say you're waiting in line and you know it's going to be a while. You can just start saying your calming word. You can start to, feel that, Take the breath, just to be gentle breathing. I'm going to say peace, peace, whatever. It's a word and to use anytime you need during the day as well. Okay, and you're practicing that. Okay, now the second part, of course, is putting your attention, we call it the attention, onto something. Now, it's very simple. We know from education, I was a learning disabilities teacher, we worked with the mind a lot, the brain, how it works. One of the things we know is that when the eyes go right or left, we're thinking. They go up, we're remembering something. Go down, we're remembering what we did. But if our eyes are just straight, it's the least mental activity if the eyes are straight. If you're with somebody, like I'm right here, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy. I'm sitting with Andy. I'm looking at Andy. It's easier for me to hear you and to attend to you if I'm looking at you. My eyes are over here, I'm thinking other things. No, I'm someplace else. You can usually tell when someone's bored. Your mind starts to wander a bit. So, part of this technique, which I like, is that you keep your eyes just straight, relaxed. It's sort of like, if you look across at that board, you look straight across. Keep your eyes just straight across, really relaxed. Just looking into space in front of you. But you want to have be aware of the space in front of you as if you're waiting for something. Have you ever been looking at a door and waiting for someone to come through the door? Like a surprise party? And you're all waiting for the person to come through the door, right? So you're not thinking of other things. You're kind of focusing on that door. Same thing. You're not imagining anything with this technique. We don't want to get into imagery, mental imagery with this technique. There are guided imagery techniques. There's all sorts where sometimes they do imaging. This is a different technique than that. That's why I'll explain the different benefits from different things. This one, you just going to look straight ahead. You're going to mentally say your word, like peace, peace, and you're going to forget about your body, you're going to forget about your environment. You're just waiting. It's like looking into beautiful space. And that's a very calming kind of thing. So as you say that word, your mind's going to go somewhere. Thoughts are going to come up. You just gently come back and say the word. Say, oh, let's come back. Say it again. Don't ever get upset with your mind wandering. That'll take you totally out of peace. That's the non-judgmental part. Just be present. So this is a very quieting internal practice, okay? Sometimes I like to share, do a little breath or some music, other things, get very calmed and present, and then go into this internal one. And I'll talk more about the benefits of this technique as we go along. But I'd like us to practice it. Yes.
What if you fall asleep?
Yes. What happens when you first are meditating, you often get sleepy. Because that's a sign that you're shifting brainwaves. You're starting to shift into a more relaxed state. So let's say you're doing this, and this is a very quickly calming magic technique to do. So let's say you start to get, because your eyes will go down. That's why you kind of go, ooh, okay, well, my eyes went down. I shake yourself a little if you do start to go to sleep. And then just go, okay, I don't want to miss anything, so let me go back, keep my eyes straight. Just keep it there, beautiful space in front of me, and say my word. And as you sit there, the fewer the thoughts come in, you say your word less quickly. So a lot of people start out with the word a little faster, like this, peace, 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 peace. Slowly you'll know when the thoughts are less, and you can stay present longer. It's like there's a gap between thoughts. And meditation slowly helps you go to the space between thoughts. So it's kind of interesting to observe. So this is a technique that we're going to post now. I'm going to turn the light off. This. when you are meditating at home, you're going to want to have a comfortable seat. This is the best we can do right now. It's not too bad, I think. Better than a lot of places I have. And then you're going to you might hear environmental noises. That's okay, just let them go. Come back here. You're waiting for as if something beautiful is going to happen. You're waiting for something beautiful to happen. You don't know what it is. It's a surprise. But you're going to be present to whatever your self wants to give you. And as you calm down, as you face forward, just say your word gently in the back of your mind. The focus is mostly on just being present into the space in front of you. It could be dark, it could be light, doesn't matter. And if you see any colors or flashes, just look in the middle, doesn't matter. It's like you're on the road. You know, like when you drive down the road, freeway, and things go by? You kind of don't watch them when you go off the road, right? You just stay in the middle. Just keep going. So everyone just close your eyes, relax. wanted to get you started. Now, when your eyes relaxed, sometimes people, when I say, gaze forward, they're looking. It's not that. It's like there's in front of you a presence, like here, in front of you, just present to what's in front of you. Very relaxed. Your eyes need to be very relaxed. They don't go up, they don't go down. Now, all of you are kind of coming from a spiritual perspective. Yes? Okay, because this is a very spiritual meditation, and you can take this to another step. First of all, when you start to sit in this meditation practice, do it with start out of the heart. Feel, I want to be here. I love being here. I want to feel love. Okay? And I want to feel that feeling of love. Because from a spiritual point of view, you can, when you're gazing forward with love, you're waiting for the spiritual, higher dimensional, different words for it. Some people call them universal consciousness, creative power, God, whatever you call that force, that's consciousness in us. We're going to sit and be present to that. So when you're sitting here, just like as if you're waiting for someone you love to come in. You love that being person. You're sitting with the feeling of love, and I like to feel smiles. Like, I feel happy. I want to be with this being, this wonderful inner consciousness that we have. So as you sit here and you're present, you're not creating any thoughts. You're not thinking anything that you want. You just want to feel the love of being present. Okay? So when you decide to sit down in meditation, after you've kind of got yourself calmed and all that, ready to sit down and be present, you're going to invite to be with you whatever the higher power is for you. Whatever that consciousness is, you want to be present to it. Is also who you are. Higher self, they call it also. So the thing is, words don't mean, it doesn't matter. It's the experience. So when you sit down, you want to just want to relax and be present. And it'll help you to be present. And the word you're saying, slowly, is just simply give the mind a little something to do as it's calming down, less active. Okay? That's why the word is slowly slowed down as you're sitting. Okay? Because you're slowly going to be calming down those thought waves. From this, like peace, 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 to peace, peace, peace. So as you're sitting there, that's why sitting for, I found, 20 to 30 minutes is an excellent practice because it lets you get used to observing what happens. Watching, and about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, you can get restless. The mind will go, oh, I'm tired of this, I'm bored. And if that happens, because it's common, because you're shifting brainwaves, sometimes there's a restlessness when that happens. You just go, oh, that's okay, shake it off. Oh, I want to stay here, I want to be here. Go back to that feeling of wanting to be here. Whatever motivates you for that is the whole idea. So, and also, when you're here, this is called third eye meditation, because the awareness is up here. It's interesting, in the Bible it says, if your body is full of light, if your eye is single, your body will be full of light. This is called the single eye in the East, because it's like an eye. It's like the all-seeing. Have you seen the, like, on the pyramid on the dollar bill or whatever, there's an eye. This is common. That's the top of the body idea. That's why it's on a pyramid. So there are a lot of traditions where when your eye is single, that means when your attention is really here, you often see light. You might see light. It might be a bright light, it might be different colored lights, it might be flashing, it might be twirling. It might just stay beautiful, deep, dark, black, and that's good too. It's just that the idea is that that's not an uncommon experience to sometimes have the colors and the lights come up, okay? And the whole thing is you don't want it. You don't want anything. You know, when you're sitting in meditation, it's called receiving. Prayer is talking to the higher self or power. Meditation is listening, being present to receive. So it's like you're sitting there just waiting. Whatever comes in any way or shape or form is a gift for you. It's for you. And everybody's experience will be different to some degree. But we know from the study of brainwaves, it's going to change. Your whole body will start to calm. You'll feel happier. I had a lady come to, years ago in Tucson. I did a class for a while there. And after 4 weeks of meditation class, this young woman comes up to me and says, I don't understand this. I'm so happy. And I have no reason to be happy. She said, I always thought you had to have a reason to feel this happiness. She says, but I meditate and I feel happy. And I said, that's because who you really are. Who you truly are is happiness, peace, and love. But that's where you access it when you sit and receive. Okay? So that's the deeper spiritual possibilities of this particular technique, because you're not imagining anything. You're actually letting the mind slowly slow down, and the third eye is often an opening into a spiritual place for us. Okay? It also says in the body, the kingdom of heaven is within. How do you access that? Meditation. That's universal. When you sit in meditation, you're letting go of the world around you for a while and going into an internal space that's your consciousness. And you know what? We're different than the body and the world around us. This isn't us. We're like wearing a costume. Like, you know, if you want to go into outer space, you got to put on a spacesuit, right? But you're not the spacesuit. You're just wearing it. We came into this world and we are wearing a physical body, but that's not who we are. We know that when we get ready to pass away, we don't take this with us. What do we take with us? Who are we? That's one of the things that meditation helps you to be present to. Many times, very spiritually advanced people who do a lot of this meditation are teachers around the world historically for hundreds and thousands of 100 years, thousands of years. They talk about that whole thing, that they can leave this physical form when they want to experience the higher self. You're not going anywhere. Right here. Right here is where you are. This is what you're simply connecting to. So, are there any questions about the technique right now, or what I'm saying about what meditation can be? No? Okay, this is a technique, and I'll be going to and from that as we go through this, because I like you to be able to be good with this one, as well as knowing some others. And I'm going to talk about the differences of the different, what you benefit from different meditation techniques. All of them, to be called meditation, is focusing on something, your attention, focusing and being present, okay? And letting the mind thoughts go. Just, there they are, stay here. There's a thought, stay here. So let's say you're doing breath meditation. Breath meditation, there's a lot of different kinds. One kind that's nice, and they say the most calming one is in and out through the nose. But there's other ways of meditating, depending upon what energy you want to bring up. There is different energy systems in our body. So that's another whole thing to go into. But, and it's called chi or kundalini, not kundalini, because that's another whole system. But chi or prana, a lot of breath can bring that up. It's another system. That's like if you've heard of yoga. yogic systems often use breath to bring up what we call prana. In the East, China is called qi, energy. I'm not going to go there. We're going to stay with the calming breath this way. So, when you want to do a calming breath, and this is important, because when you get a little hyped up about something or anxious about something, one of the things you want to do is to breathe. So what you do is you gently take a slow breath in. Don't force a breath. You start out with just taking a breath in. There's different levels, so I'm just going to teach a simple one to get started. So take a breath in, hold it for a second, and let it go all the way out. And then take it in again. And if you find yourself having a glitch when you take in the breath a little harder or exhaling, that means your diaphragm is tight. So that's why you want to take it in and out through the mouth to get the diaphragm a little relaxed. You can do that to get the diaphragm relaxed a little more. Okay. But always a long exhale, as long as you can. Because we do know that heart rate goes down when you do the long exhale. So just practice that for a little bit. You can do it from the mouth or the nose, whichever you feel more comfortable with right now. Put your attention though, all of your focus is on feeling the breath in your body. Feeling it come in, and feeling it go out. Be aware of how it feels in the body. Might start to get sleepy with this too. But notice how the body feels as it goes out. Should end up being a long inhale, and a long exhale. Slowly. Just keep practicing that for a few minutes. Okay, how does that feel? Did you notice how your breath is? Did it get easier as you practiced it? Because if it didn't, you might still have to do a little more gentle breath to feel in and out, okay? So that's some people that's their meditation. They actually have different types of breathing. There's a whole thing about that. People study to get certificates how to teach breathing. But this is a simple way you can start to be aware. Now, another thing is the body. Okay? Now, we keep a lot of tension in our body and shoulders. I teach a practice called tension trauma releasing exercises. It took me a year and a half to learn how to teach that. But it's something that everybody has built into their own bodies. It's your brainstem. People don't understand how the fight-flight works system, which is the emotional part of our brain, it is always scanning for safety. Fight or flight. Fight, flight, or freeze. Okay? So if for some reason you could be standing somewhere in a store or something and all of a sudden you feel a tightening somewhere, your brainstem, limbic system rather, notice something might be a little danger. And so the brainstem then immediately tightens up parts of your body. Some people have TMJ because their jaw tightens up right away. Some people have shoulder issues because their shoulders will automatically tighten for most of us. Their breath, all of a sudden, we catch a breath. We're not consciously doing that. It's the brainstem which coordinates the autonomic system. It automatic responses. We don't consciously think that. Let's say someone yells at you. Guess what? The limbic system goes, danger, the brainstem tightens something up. So when you start to be more conscious in checking out your body, you go, oh gosh, I wonder what's going on. I need to relax my shoulders maybe. So there's different ways to relax your shoulders. One of them is to tighten like this. Let's try that like this. Hold it. Hold it. Do it again. Hold it. And the breath usually hides. And let it go. And then you can do this. We call it shoulder rolls. Just gently, very gently. Move up the shoulder like that. And that's something you may have to practice a little if you're not used to doing something like this. But this is a nice way to start relaxing the shoulders. Okay? Now another part that gets is our jaw. Okay? So we go, ah. You know, it sounds weird, but we go, ah. Ah. And then massage the jaw joint. But go like, ah. And then massage it. You know, like, oh, I want to hear a good one. Very good. Because that's what you have to actually open up. We're not used to opening up our mouths like that. But that is really important. And then massage and be aware that this can tighten up. That this is a very important thing to do to start to release. Okay? So that's one thing you can do. Shoulder rolls, be aware. You know, another one is bouncing. Everyone stand up if you're okay with this. This is, for some people, before they sit down to meditate, is one of the best things they want to do. And they've actually done, again, you bounce like this on your, just be flat. Just bounce. Take some nice breaths in and out, smile. Come on. And you know, when you are with a group of people and you're bouncing, you smile. You gotta smile and laugh. And you know what? We know that laughing is one of the best ways to relax. You can move your arms you can sort of be like a rag doll. Don't you remember we used to do that? Didn't some of you do that? Yeah, we used to do it when we were young, particularly. We used to dance and we did the twist. You know, let your body move. Be aware that, it makes sound. Another thing we know that releases tension and helps the diaphragm is making sound. And smiling. And, you know, and this. Now another thing that we know is rocking. Did you know that they've done research on that? Relaxes the nervous system. What do we do when our babies are fussy? We rock them. Guess what? You're going to rock your baby. Right here. We are still babies. Think of it that way. We never lose the fact that our bodies are connected to our brain and our nervous system. We're one whole being. So rocking, some people like to do it this way, you know, whatever you like. But it's very nice to just rock. Breathe with it. And sigh, yes, because sigh is also a sound associated with relaxing. Ah. And smile, because they actually found that if you smile for like 3 minutes, make yourself smile, genuinely smiling, it changes the brain chemistry. Isn't that interesting? There's lots of research on this stuff. It starts the endorphins going. Smiling. Have you ever heard of laughing for no reason?
you're doing that.
There's laughing yoga, if you've heard of that. It's not really yoga. But people get together and they just start laughing. There's no reason to laugh. You don't have to have a reason. You can just start feeling, because did you know that this whole area laughs? I mean, this is the muscles that laugh. So you can pretend. I remember our son once in a while, he and I would lay on the floor and I'd start laughing and he'd start laughing and pretty soon you couldn't stop. Have you ever done that where you got so laughing you couldn't stop? And that's when you're really getting into the fact that we don't need the external things. We got it all inside of us. Everything we need to be happier, to be calmer, to enjoy life. Good, we'll go ahead and sit down now. Now there's another thing that I'm going to talk about next week, particularly more with the vagus nerve, and I did last week with sound. Oh man, how'd that feel? Doesn't that feel good? You can do this before you meditate. That could be one of your pre-meditation things before you even sit down. You know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna laugh.
I wonder what we're doing.
I know. I'm gonna tell you that whoever you live with.
Don't tell her.
Okay, yeah.
Have her join you. Have your partner join you. But you can do this as one of your pre-meditation things because it is one of the easiest and quickest ways. Because you're also taking deep breaths, which helps the diaphragm. The brain is perceiving, oh, we're safe when we rock, when we laugh. And when we're safe, the nervous system calms down. The brain gets better endorphins. So it's a wonderful thing to think about when you get ready to, because you'll have a paper for you to fill out for that, what you want to do for pre-meditation, okay? So that might be something you do before you sit down, okay? Let me see what time it is here. Oh, we got half an hour, good, get into the rest of it. So when you set up a place at home, it's sacred. You're setting up a sacred space for yourself. So in that space, find a place that you can sit that would be comfortable and relaxed. Because when you sit in meditation, you don't want to have pain if you don't have to. You want to be very comfortable. You can actually meditate lying down, but it tends to put us to sleep very quickly because the body and mind think, oh, lying down, sleep, right? But if you're slightly up, it's better. Okay, so what happens is you want to find a nice comfy place. You might want to have a little table or something next to you. It can be small with a beautiful picture. That when you look into the picture, it's beautiful to you. Some people are visual. We're going to use the senses to set up to do premeditation. Now, when I was teaching this other meditation technique today, we don't go with the senses. We want to be in a quiet place where we don't, or you can, I would have headphones, noise settling headphones. You also don't want to have a lot of light. Internal light tends to be distracting to the brain. Like these kind of lights, not so good. But if you have a little lamp or something, that's okay. But you want it to be a nice little comfy place for you. You might want to have some music. I'm going to teach you humming right now. Because humming is one of the very well documented what humming does. It activates the vagus vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve, and this parasympathetic system, which is the calming system in our brain, in our body. So when you activate more of the vagus nerve, you're activating your calming parasympathetic system. So humming is interesting because let's say you're reading something. You can go hum. Try humming. Hum. Feel it. Hum. Vibrate. Hum. Sometimes your lips will go hum. Practice humming because once again, that's well known to be calming for the system. Humming.
So that's like the ohm. When we're doing the
Yes.
ohm, it's the same.
It's similar, the idea is similar, because a lot of the things that were chosen in different traditions, like let's say like Buddhism with the ohm, would be, and that's a universal sound. So you can use that for pre-meditation. That'll be something, again, that brings a nice feeling in your system. So humming is one of the things you could choose. And Om is a very nice one to use. Very good. I just thought of, when we're talking about different places to meditate or ways to meditate, some people love to go in nature. They say, oh, I love to go into nature. How you are sitting in nature, not everyone's aware of. When you go into nature, and you want it to really be a meditation and a powerful thing for you, you go and you sit down wherever you can, sit for a while, and just observe. Don't judge. Don't let the thoughts go. And just go, oh, there's an interesting plant over there. Oh, look at that tree over there. And just be present to everything that you're watching in nature. People go and sit in nature and read a book, which is fine, but they're not going to get the same benefit if they don't spend some time focusing. Okay? Focusing again, because that's what meditation benefits come from. If I'm focusing on looking at a beautiful tree and a thought comes up, I want to let that thought go and come back to the tree. That's meditation. So again, how you use the technique can be used in many ways. Next week I'll show you some walking meditation. How you can do that. Because a lot of us, we walk places, and you can even do this in your house. But it's a specific kind of way of walking again, and focusing your attention. So when you're doing the pre-meditation, you have the physical part, okay, that you can do. You have the sound part, okay, as far as making sound and calming. Then there's listening to sound. I'm going to bring around my bowl. I want you to close your eyes and just feel the bowl again. I'm sorry, is it too close for you?
No.
Oh, okay. Is it too close? What's the matter? You feel the vibration?
Yeah.
I want your body to feel it. Don't touch it.
Oh.
Don't touch it. Is it okay if I get it close to your chest?
Yeah.
That's where I want you to feel it. See the difference?
Yeah.
This is what a bowl can do. You feel how it feels you may find something on YouTube you like as well for free meditation. Because when the music stops, I want you to go into meditation. I want you to go up, be present to the space in front of you, eyes closed, very relaxed, saying your word and be present to the power within you. Okay? So just quietly with your eyes closed, relax. pretty relaxed? Yes? No? Yeah. Those are all different ways that you can start to relax. You know, did you like the music? Some people like to listen to it very low for a little bit when they first go into meditation, but you should turn it off then, or put it off sound. Because in the third eye meditation that I've been teaching you, you really don't want to have any other input. You really want to be present to whatever yourself gives you. Sometimes it's sound, and you don't want to miss that. So it can, it's very interesting what's possible with meditation. Next week, next week, I'm so used to doing it week to week. Thursday, I'm going to give you your folder now. You each have a folder. We're going to go over it real quick, some of the things in it. And each week you get some more information that adds on to what we just would do that week. Okay? Are there any questions right now?
Not when you say the word, do you
Yes.
say it throughout the meditation?
Yes, the slow work. You know what I mean? Because you want the mind, as the mind slows down a little, as thoughts are less thoughts, you can slow down the saying of the word in your mind. But your attention is really in front of you. I'm not, right there, you want to be present in what's in front of you. So, yeah, it's going to slow down. That's why the longer you sit at one sitting, which you'll have a chance to experience a little of that here, we'll do that. And at home, you might want to take a timer and say, I think I can do 15 minutes of, getting ready for for meditation. I'd like you to think about already what are something you might want to do to prepare for meditation. Okay, would it be the movement, humming, music, whatever. And there'll be more things we're going to do next week because there are other senses involved. There's the sense of sight, colors, images. Those can also bring very calming. Have you seen mandalas? You're going to see some. And there's ways to even do it for yourself for a meditation practice, pre-meditation or meditation. Aromas. I don't recommend you having smells on while you're meditating, but I'll show you how you can use it pre-meditation or anytime you want, because they know that the sense of smell goes to the brain faster than any other sense. Have you ever gone to an open house? What are they doing? Baking bread or cookies, right?
Yeah.
Because it brings up memories as well. Smells have a lot of emotional attachment, so it can also be very calming. We'll talk about that next week. You'll experience some of that as well. Now I'm going to pass out some folders. And there's a really nice book that we like. It's called Inner and Outer Peace Through Meditation. And each chapter has exercises at the end you can do for meditation to help you do it. And it's a little more of a spiritual orientation overall. Not religious, but it is spiritual because it has to do with connecting with the higher power within yourself through meditation. Okay, but it's really a great book. I mean, I like that for beginners particularly.
Hey, Pat,
Yes.
are you familiar with Bob Seema?
No.
Check him out. One of his songs is called "Meditation is Medication."
There's a book called Meditation is Medication by Rajendra Singh.
Yeah, well, this is a song. It's great.
That's a
Bob
song.
Seema,
Oh,
S-I-M-A.
Okay,
yeah.
there's a book too named that. That's interesting. We'll have to look it up. Look him up. Thank you. Now we're going to look inside the folder right now. Oops, here you go. And did you want to look at? Okay. Now I'm going to show you some stuff. Like let's look at the first. After meditation for everyone, there's this quote says, "Meditation is the skill of being able to switch our attention." Remember, we've been talking about focusing our attention from the lower frequencies of this world to the higher frequencies of the inner spiritual realms. That's what meditation, especially third eye, does. It starts to help raise your vibrational self, okay, to be able to be more connected and aware of the inner thing. I know we have 2 minutes, I think. talked about a few, but I would like you, if you could, read this week, you know, because it's really interesting, all the things that meditation does in meditators. It changes the brain, like we talked about. It changes the immune system. I mean, it's well documented, all of that. The next one is called Meditation Tips. Now, this is basically what you would have to read before you meditate. Okay? It helps you get ready for meditation and how to meditate. Okay? With this technique. Okay? Because we're going to do others too. So, this is a nice one, the meditation tips. You just go through it, and it reminds you of what you can do in the meditation. So again, a habit, when you set up a habit of how to do it a little bit every day, remember, tell your mind, because you got to convince your mind to want to sit down, say, oh my gosh, I'm going to really enjoy the beautiful music. We're really going to have fun moving. Oh, we're going to just relax for a while, because meditation is so relaxing. We have nothing to do. You're just sitting there being present, saying a word, you know, slowly. And not caring if the thoughts come, you just bring them back. It's the easiest thing in the world. We make it hard. We think something has to happen. Like, oh, my mind's going to stop. Get rid of that one, because that's not really real. Now the next one is suggestions for improving meditation for new people. Again, read this before you meditate. Those are the two big ones to read. If you can just say, I'm just going to sit down and read this, even if you don't do anything else, you're going to start putting that in your mind of how to sit with meditation and how to experience it in a much more it's a very enjoyable practice. The last one, the technique I've been sharing with you is called Science of Spirituality Meditation. There's transcendental meditation. There's mindfulness meditation. This meditation technique is from an ancient practice in India. Okay, so it's been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. A third eye meditation. Okay, and now it's called Science of Spirituality. I'll talk about what that is in case you're interested in a deeper level of meditation. But this is, everything in this particular technique is what I showed you today. These are instructions, okay? Because I want to teach you different ones, like I said, that you'll have options. The last page is called I Want to Meditate Because. And this is something, if you can write it down, we do know from educational practices as well, that when you write something down, it registers much stronger in the brain than just saying it. I mean, they've done research on that. It's really interesting, the research on that. And it says, I will meditate at this time. If this week or the next couple days, you can kind of just decide, gee, I wonder when I could meditate this week. When can I put in some time for me, for my inner self? It's like a type of worship in a way. When you sit in the higher presence within, that is a spiritual practice. And all of you are spiritually oriented, so you can use that aspect of this technique for that. Place I will meditate. Find a comfy place that you could tend to go to more often. Okay? Because again, you're learning to take the mind, which likes habit. Mind take 21 days, 28 days to get a new habit put into place. The mind likes routine. So if you go to the same place every time, and you go by that place, the mind thinks, oh, that's a meditation place. Oh, that's calming. You start to have an association with that place. And the time can be variable, because sometimes in your life, you can't do it the same day. But you can look at your schedule and say, oh, I think Monday I can do it here, Tuesday I can do it here. If you have a doctor's appointment, don't you go to it? You put it on your calendar and you go. Okay? Now, what I will do to prepare for meditation, we're going to do more things next week in this area. If there's a couple we've already done that you like, put it down. You want to develop a routine. It is fun, because you look forward to it. I want to bounce. I listen to some music. I want to hum. And also, there's one meditation, one practice rather, called contemplation. Now, contemplation sometimes isn't considered, isn't always considered a meditation like other meditation, because you're thinking through a whole section. So it's one of those things that if you read something you really like spiritually or whatever before you meditate, you can read it and go over it and think about it or whatever, and that's also can be, and then you can go into the stillness of the meditation, the inner stillness meditation part. So contemplation is done in different ways, and we'll talk about that more next week. But this is the basics I'd like you to try, not next week, Thursday. It's only 2 days from now. That'll be great, because actually it's good when you only have a couple of, when you do it more quickly, because we're gonna practice again more. So do we have any questions or comments?
Just a reminder, please, each session will have some different handouts, so if you remember to bring your folders,
Oh, bring your
you can
folder.
just add them in there.
Yeah.
Like that. And thank you all so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Being
Thank you.
together.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
wonderful.